4 years ago, I think we would have all been influenced by the apocalyptic future that was designed by multiple consulting firms and all kinds of people that pretended to know where we're going. No, I'm confident. I think that we have a fantastic chance. The car park is aging. We see that the demand is very strong. This car park will pursue this route, aging further. And I think that by 2030 we're going to have lots of work for our workshops, for our distributors, and for ourselves. And of course, for our partners, manufacturers around the world. So I'm very confident. Of course, we will see the electrical vehicle and potentially some other typologies of vehicles start to develop themselves. But I'm a very confident man, and I have to say that I'm very realistic also here when I tell you that by 2030 we're going to have very good times, all of us, in this industry.
We at NEXUS are extremely bullish about the aftermarket, especially the automotive aftermarket by 2030, from multiple perspectives. One, the aftermarket is not going to go away. It's going to stay, and it's going to be more bullish because we see the aging of the vehicle is increasing across the globe, and therefore we believe that the market will continue to grow, and we are optimistic about the growth. The second one, will it transform itself? Yes, it will transform itself. By 2030 or a little later, aftermarket will increasingly become mobility. Today, 100% of the vehicles are connected. I think we are able to now separate diagnostics, data, service delivery, and therefore parts consumption in isolation. And ability to provide it together digitally will be continuously making a meaningful difference. So to that extent, we believe that the future is in mobility, and we have to adapt ourselves to mobility.
I believe that our repair business will be pretty much resilient and stable. Maybe further digitalization in the environment, maybe the way to market further digitizes. We all get very much more connected.
It will definitely be a more complex market. Why I'm saying that? Because we will have complexity in technologies, right? So we will have an increased electrification, we will have more automation, we will have some connectivity. This is all increasing the complexity, which is a challenge, especially for the workshops, in order to keep the workshops competitive. So by 2030, the majority of our vehicle in operation will be internal combustion engines. This is the core and the fundament of the business today. However, there will be new technologies and we need to prepare for it.
I think aftermarket, we have a very bright future ahead for different reasons. Everybody was afraid about the mega trends that were coming in automotive, electrification, autonomous driving, big data. But we know that there is going to be an important slowdown, and this is a good news for us in aftermarket. So that's one of the main reasons. The other one is, I truly believe this is still a people industry, and if everyone is playing his role, all of us, suppliers, distributors, ITGs, we can make this business prosper even more. We have, in the end, the key to the success. We know how to do it, we need to do it together.
Plenty of different models has appeared. The reality is that up to the end of 2030, we're in a current trend where we'll take benefit of those changes. This industry will indeed be more electronical, more digital, more electrical. All this will bring opportunity to our industry in terms of aftermarket-wise. Why? Because it will bring new model, new solution. It will force our traditional distributors to be better, to move to services, not only parts, to move to services. Second, it will force our distributors to significantly impact how workshop networks, from an education perspective, from a business opportunity perspective, from a model and service perspective, to be more professional. Let's not forget that up to 2030-35, we have to consider that new brands, new car vehicle manufacturers came in the market and are progressively entering in this aftermarket by saying that any distributors in most of the major markets but also in the emerging markets, has to grow up the inventory by 3-4% per year from an SKUs numbers perspective. And this is a fantastic challenge.
Well, certainly in the past few years, both in North America and around the globe, we've seen a tremendous amount of change in our industry. Consolidation amongst suppliers, amongst distributors. The technologies of the vehicles have certainly changed and continue to change, and we don't expect that to slow down at all. In fact, we probably see it accelerating over the course of the next few years, which certainly requires us to be at the forefront of all of these issues so that we can keep up with the way business is not only done today, but the way it will be done in the future.
By 2030, we would think that the independent aftermarket actually will look totally different. The global car park obviously will continue to grow, but on a lower level, but it will actually also change in the mix. The ICE types, they will decline, and the BEV will play a more and more important role. However, I would say that the ICE actually will continue to be highly relevant, especially in the independent aftermarket in 2030, because the car park is not only growing, but also aging. We will experience an increasing level of digitalization and also ADAS systems. They will reduce the crash rates going forward. There will be preventive maintenance and also remote diagnostics. They will offer us new opportunities to data-based business models.
When we look at the aftermarket evolution in the different scopes of the world, we project until 2030 different growth patterns across the globe. For example, when you look at Europe, we project that there's going to be a growth of around about 4 to 5%, whereas we see Middle East 20% and Africa even doubling the complete VIO. So there is really a trend which we can see there's still a growth of the vehicle and operations. And also when we look into the combustion engine, so also here we project that for up to 2030 will be a steady growth across the globe.
We all see this automotive container ship slowing down. It's a pity, right? Because we enjoy changes. So unfortunately, there's not a disruptive Uber yet. I hope we can be that, and somewhere before 30, things will really change.
So NEXUS in 10 years, I think, has gone quite far, quite fast. And this is just a result of a culture. You know, being agile, being entrepreneurial, being innovative is something that will help us in the coming 10 years, by 2030, to take the lead or participate actively to this transformation that is ahead of us, that is the opportunity that NEXUS has to gain even more leadership in the market. So I think that our cultural assets are the assets that will help us to bring NEXUS from 2024 onwards to a NEXUS 2.0 status. And I think that we all together will be even stronger, you know, within a number of years. But I leave that for, I would say, the board of directors. They know our plans. And I think that we have strong plans, but I believe that those plans are relatively realistic. I say relatively because you never know, but realistic. And I believe in our team, our culture, to make it happen.
I think NEXUS is one of the very few organizations or platforms, which I have chosen to call by that, has been innovating itself at every point of time as the aftermarket goes through the journey. So we started as ITG. We started investing in technology platforms. I think one of the earliest to invest in technology platforms. We are continuously making investment across the spectrum, be it funding through Mobilion, being a private label platform through Drive Plus, or a smart parts, be it garage concepts or solutions through WARP, or be it globalization by inclusive growth across 6 continents. I think these are the early investment which is now getting ourselves much closer with supplier or get more intimate with supplier by being a true partner to the growth of the supplier.
NEXUS is making the major contribution to our market and also our global standings. And we think the future is bigger, and NEXUS is growing year by year. And I think their power and the engagement to the aftermarket will be great.
I think you are really global. We are growing with you. Europe is where we were both born, Nexus and Brembo. But the opportunities that you are having for us in the Americas, in Asia Pacific, are really interesting. So we need to go after them together.
Well, we look at NEXUS as our global partner to help us find the right path as we move forward. You know, NEXUS is involved in so many different aspects of our business, whether it's, you know, product related, supplier relationships, but also technology, sustainability, programs for our workshops and things like that. And so certainly we rely very heavily on our partnership with NEXUS to lead us into the future.
NEXUS is a part of the aftermarket automotive. This is extremely resilient, though changing very faster. NEXUS, which is a company in the vanguard, has been helping us find the correct path.
Well, in 2030, again, I see NEXUS as a highly connected, innovative, and sustainable multiplicator, playing a crucial role in shaping the automotive aftermarket. The relationship between Mahle Aftermarket and NEXUS will be a shining example of how strategic alliances can drive the automotive aftermarket forward, delivering value to all stakeholders involved.
I see that very positive. ITGs and multinationals, the difference will vaporize, right? And NEXUS will be in the lead with a hybrid model. For us, that is a good driver to further team up with NEXUS, and we will be part of that.
Well, I think NEXUS is already a strong player in the market. I think NEXUS will continue the successful path as it is today. So, and of course, we support as good as we can to continue that path also together.
I think US NEXUS should concentrate on bringing the opportunities in our core business to customers, to suppliers, and I think you're doing an excellent job in this regard. And on the other side, just remain the, you know, forward-thinking organization as you have been over the last couple of years. The direction you are heading, I think, is very right. So sustainability activities, digitalization, looking into future trends. If you keep doing the things, I think you're well positioned for the future.
This company has been designed to service a number of stakeholders. Service manufacturers, global manufacturers, service distributors, and I would say some different type of stakeholders, but two typologies of stakeholders are key. There is one stakeholder that pays for the bill today, and he is called the supplier, the manufacturer. So it would be crazy that in an organization like ours, we would not be obsessed by satisfying the supplier, satisfying the one that pays for the organization. Priority number one, he deserves care number one, and he deserves to have a satisfaction plan big like that. So it's clear that the organization in 2024 has started to be aware about the fact that it's not only about growth, it's about satisfying overall supplier X or supplier Y. We are now working on a very structured basis with this intention to satisfy every single item that a supplier is expecting from NEXUS.
I think the members have to realize that the change is imminent. It's okay to see that, yeah, we've been noticing this change, it is going to take a longer time, but the longer time has now become shorter. I think it is important for the distributor to say, while you can have all the advantages of Nexus and its investment, but we also have a responsibility to behave as a Nexus partner to its suppliers to continue to take advantage of the market growth or the market changes. So my only appeal to the distributor community is the change is coming. Nexus will do its role, but you also have a responsibility to be a true partner of Nexus in adapting it so that we retain that supplier confidence on all of us.
The message should be keep on going. What you've been doing sometimes from one generation, 2 generations, by adapting, by being better organized, better logistics, more supply chain, better in procurement, better in service. Keep on doing in that mindset, but being open to accept innovation, accept new service, accept new trends, to bring that to your portfolio of service towards your customers.
At the end of this first decade, we have profiled our company as a company that would brighten your future. Okay, I think this says it all. But behind this ambition that we have, you can imagine that there is a strategy, there's a plan that is based on plenty of benchmarks that we have done outside the industry, inside the industry. We have looked at what some companies have done in this industry, well and maybe less well. We've looked at companies that outside the industry have done incredible things. And based on that, we plan to build this decade with the appetite to be on the forefront of the industry by 2033, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this decade. I think that within 5 years, you will see enormous change in this organization. This organization will be more efficient, even more efficient for its partners, more efficient for its distributors, and will be more impacting, truly impacting, I would say, in the aftermarket and on goal at workshop level. And I would say this saying that is ours, we will brighten your future, be it for suppliers or for distributors, will be translated within a limited number of years into increasing impacting power of Nexus in the automotive aftermarket.
I think the future of Nexus is going to be as a thought leader. We have established a strong distributor community across the globe. We have established a relationship with supplier community. We have very, very good team which is capable to conceptualize and deliver the solutions. Now the idea is how to bring it all together. So one, Nexus has to redesign itself in being a thought leader and a delivery organization. Second, work closely with distributors, help them digitalize, increase the compliance ratio, therefore increase the market share for the supplier. Work with supplier to recognize the fact how to accelerate digitalization of the distributor community for them, along with them. So we'll continue to make investment, but we will become a glue between the distributor community or the aftermarket community and the supplier community by being more intimate with both the segments together.
Upgrade their brand values.
The end customers is the garage owner. So we need to go and work together on how to increase the awareness of the brand. And I'm a big friend, the Nexus community knows, I'm a big friend of private label. So if together we go and explain the story that it's either private label or a top premium brand, and we do an education.
I think based on the challenges we are facing, transformation, investments, there is a strong collaboration between the different players needed. And it won't be any more business as usual. So concretely, for me, it's market intelligence and business development.
Open collaboration, communication, exploring together opportunities, having also some critical conversation here and there. But at the end, I think what would be good is really to have this kind of strong partnership.
And we need to go back a bit to our roots and work on the transactional part. That's one thing, it's primary. Another dream I have is that we see that the right to repair will be more important in the future. And I hope that Nexus will also step in there. I mean, you have Gael, his roots are in Belgium, right? So let him influence Brussels and take over where VGA, 5 clay pipe, maybe not make it alone.
In the way into the future, also there where you have started, connect the right trends that we together move in the right direction. And I think if we share perspectives from NEXUS perspective, from a member perspective, and from a supplier perspective, I think we need to join forces to work together towards the future mobility ecosystem.
I expect NEXUS to continue its proactive approach, its innovative approach, and its partner-centric approach, creating new opportunities and bringing new ideas to the market. By sharing the market intelligence and the trends, NEXUS can deliver a strong value add to empower the supplier community, including Mahle.
I think that there is already a level of pride because being part of a community that is represented in so many countries, almost 150 countries around the world, that has performed, that is in constant, I would say, dynamic with its agility, its entrepreneurial fiber, its sense of innovation, to go and get what is, I would say, achievable targets and build up an organization that everybody considers to be a performing organization. I think this makes the member of the community extremely proud. I remain humble, but with what we are going to do in future years, which is just a result of what we have done over the past 10 years, and adding, I would say, a bit of strategy, a bit of agility, a bit of entrepreneurial fiber, a bit of innovation, the community will get and will become even more proud about what we collectively will achieve, and we will collectively build what we will call the NEXUS model, which is a specific model that incorporates, I think, the different recipes that will help this community to be on the forefront of the aftermarket by 2030.